Hello and welcome back to day 3 of Author Nation, and I'm here with Michael Stewart from SudoWrite. So thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
Good. How's the show been?
It has been a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. So my whole team is out this year. There's 8 of us came out together for it, and we've met so many people.
Yeah.
Exhilarating.
You said you mostly work remotely, so it's nice to actually meet your friends in real life.
Yeah, exactly. So my team is fully distributed from Hawaii to New York and LA. And today we're all in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's nice to get some FaceTime.
Is it some of them you've met for the first time in person?
No, one of them. One
Right.
of them, the newest person of the team. Yeah, first time meeting him in person.
Yeah, nice. I did a talk here, and there are 2 people who've been working together for 5 years. And
Yeah.
My podcast was the first time they'd ever met in person.
Yeah.
So I felt quite honoured.
Yeah, and actually, we did invite out a couple of our community members, and it is my first time meeting them, and I've known them for 14 months, but exclusively over Discord. Right?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So how did you did your talk yesterday, or was it
Monday?
Monday. How did it go?
It was great. It was a lot of fun. So for some background context, I'm with SudoWrite.
Yeah.
We launched a big feature about an hour before the talk on Monday,
Okay.
specifically for Author Nation. We launched series support because, we came to 20 books last year, and we met a lot of authors. And the authors told us was, I write in series. I need help knowing what happened 3 books ago. I need context on my work. And so the talk was very focused on this new feature and how SudoWrite can sort of help you make sense of your series.
Yeah. So give us an overview of how SudoWrite works.
Yeah, so SudoWrite is a writing app. It's a writing app with AI superpowers, right? So authors can either start a book there or import a work in progress. They can also import now finished works and spin up a series, a continuation from that. But the idea of it is that it's very familiar. It works a lot like any other web-based writing app like Google Docs, where you have a web editor. But the difference is that we have a whole bunch of features that are specific, that cater to professional authors and the different parts of their process where they might get stuck. So we think a lot about this paralysis around like the blank page and like, okay, how do we help get the story out of your head and onto the page quickly so that you can then look at it from a distance objectively and you can start shaping it into something meaningful. The sort of killer app of SudoWrite is something called StoryBible, which allows you to either take all of those disparate elements that you've saved in Notion or in Docs or whatever and store it in one place for your reference and for the AIs. And then you can also use StoryBible alternatively as a way to go from something as simple as like a messy, unstructured brain dump and add detail and fidelity and grow it into like a full novel.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So have you found the AI has been working for the process?
Really great. So the one of the things that we heard a lot over the past year and change was like, oh, this is really great. I love it. It gets me unstuck. It helps me work a little bit faster. It helps me be more generative and creative, but I'm still in the driver's seat, right? Like a lot of folks use it in a way where it's not writing for them. It is making sense of things that can sometimes be like messy and sprawling. And folks will often use it just the chat agent that's built into it. They'll just say like, hey, remind me where I left the status of this relationship so I can pick this up.
Oh, wow. So it knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So character details as well. Like, how did I describe so-and-so and maybe a minor character? And it will go back and pull that for me. So it's great for things like that. But something that we've heard was like, oh, I have a really niche process, or a really like, there's no way it can help me because I was actually just chatting with somebody who does guided sleep meditations, right?
Okay.
And so his goal was I have a structure that I know I want to fill in, and I want to use a theme, and I want to generate something fresh each time. I have like a high output here, and so I need fresh scripts all the time. And so SudoWrite had built something called a plugins ecosystem. It's sort of like a sandbox where you use natural language, no code. You use natural language to build tools that support your own process. So you just tell the AI, like, I wish SudoWrite had a button that could create guided meditation off of specific instructions, like a focus, a theme, a setting, all these details, and then you have that, and you click the button, and it'll take your existing work or reference material or template, whatever you have, and give you the first.
Oh, amazing! Yeah. And so, but the SudoWrite doesn't. It wouldn't like narrate it. It would just be like writing the.
It doesn't narrate it today.
Yes.
Who knows what the future holds?
Is this an exclusive?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We did. So I mentioned my whole team's out here. As a part of this, we did our prioritization meeting yesterday for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
So we did pick some exciting new features that we'll be building, and ways that will improve even stuff that we just launched, like series support, the next sort of milestones that we're going to be making.
Nice. And so, what sorts of writers do you generally work with at SudoWrite? Do you have a particular genre or niche that you work with more? Or
yeah, that's a great question. So an observation that I had in the past. So I lead the community over there, and I've had conversations with. We have a Discord community of over 10,000 authors, and we come to events like this where we meet thousands of authors face to face. I would say that like one of the big cohorts is definitely like romance writers, in part because they're very prolific and they write in series. But we serve all genres. We even go, while fiction is primarily where we're focused. We definitely have nonfiction authors. I mentioned the guided meditation. We have folks that are writing blog posts and things like that. So we serve a wide swath of authors, but our core community is fiction, and generally fiction long form, even though it works really well for short stories. The other observation that I've made in this regard is that like from these conversations, from these user interviews that we've done, and from face to face, I've realized like, it's not. So romance is definitely one pillar, but two other really interesting segments are like I've spoken to even folks here that are like they're software engineers first and foremost, and they're looking for like creative outlet, or their brains work very similar to an author where they're like, oh, this is an interesting engineering problem to engineer the relationships and also the sort of like framework that's necessary to tell a compelling story. Software engineers and the sort of like tech friendly, and then honestly, we work with a lot of folks that are maybe in the retiree demographic where they're like, I have a lot of time to write, and I really, I finally want to write my memoir or something. So really, really fascinating the widespread of folks that use the tool.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I'd love to get you back on to go through SudoWrite in detail properly. Yeah. So have you managed to make some good connections with people whilst you're doing the show? Because like the serendipity here is amazing. Just like everyone's all the right people in the right place.
It is, yeah. I've had so many fun conversations. I've actually really enjoyed working the booth. It's fun when people come to you, especially if you're a little bit of an introvert. People come up to you and they're like, explain, what's all this then? But I have spoken to some folks.
Being on your stands, do a lot of people come up and just go through the show, go through the tools, how it works?
Yeah. So we've had folks approach us at the booth, and we kind of give demos at the booth, but we've also been stepping away with folks for a little one-on-one time. So and we did something that I think is pretty clever. We brought out this it's not our tool, but there's a tool called the Vesta board, which is this like flip flap board, like an old train station. Split flap display, I think it's called, where they flip down. And so our engineering team built this automation where you can text your idea for a story, like gothic vampire romance or something like that. You send it to a phone number, and our AI will sort of process that and then display the first few lines of your story on this board. And so that's what's been happening, and that's a lot of fun, watching folks send their pitch in and then watching the AI's brain generate it.
What's been your favorite story so far?
Ooh, boy, there was there was one yesterday about a dragon that was afraid of fire. That was like a very it's an interesting tension.
Can't cough.
Yeah, exactly. And then what was it? There was someone got real in the weeds with like paranormal cowboy romance. Interplanetary paranormal cowboy romance. And so that one was great. It really went into this idea of like how cowboys they drive cattle across only now it's across the galaxy. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird
weird.
stories.
Yeah.
I like the weird stories. And yeah, it's been great learning what everybody is writing. I feel like I have now a list of books a mile long of like, oh, I'm gonna go home and I gotta order all these books now.
Yeah.
I sure can't carry them back. I got too much to carry.
Yeah. Is this your first time at Author Nation?
First to Author Nation, we were at 20 books last year, so we were out, but we only did our team. I was only here for like Friday, the end of Thursday and Friday. So I caught Rave last year. Did not catch Vendor Day.
Yeah.
A couple other folks on our team were at.
Nice.
So this is great. This is my first like full week here, and it's exhilarating. And people have had such great questions and great ideas. Yeah, the kind of creative culture here is rich.
Yeah. And obviously, because we're in Las Vegas, have you had a chance to do any cool Las Vegas stuff?
Yes. So the team did on Tuesday. As a whole, the team went over to the Sphere. So this thing I can see from my window, and it looks alive, and the emoji like stares straight at me. And we went inside, and it's cool inside, very futuristic, and we saw a great, very, very immersive.
Yeah. When you're inside, are you sort of sitting down looking up, or is
you're sitting down inside, and you basically have screen from here to here, like all the way. And so once the film starts, you can do this whole gawking in every direction without breaking the immersion. It's quite cool.
Amazing. Yeah, really cool. I have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, looking forward to speaking to you again. And enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into the Publishing Performance podcast. I really hope you found today's episode inspiring. I love chatting to authors, writers, and people in the publishing world. Now, just before we wrap up, let me tell you about Publishing Performance, the #1 platform for authors who want to increase Amazon book sales, but are not really sure where to start. Now, this show is all about helping you to sell more books. And if you're looking to boost your publishing game and to maximize your book's potential on Amazon, then Publishing Performance is designed to help authors just like you to grow your readership and to reach a much wider audience. Now, I know that Amazon ads can be slightly complicated, which is why Publishing Performance is like having a personalized ad account manager to create your ad campaigns, to choose your best keywords, and to make adjustments in real time. Now, if you're investing in ads, you really want to make sure that your investment is being used effectively, and Publishing Performance does just that. It aims to make your budget go further, improve your organic rank, and target keywords more effectively. Just go to publishingperformance.com to get started with Amazon ads for just $1.